For many years, I've been critical of attempts to suppress hate speech, especially on the part of governments. For instance, in Europe, in many places, it's illegal to deny that the Holocaust ever happened. In 2006, I went on record saying that I didn't think Austria should imprison famed Holocaust denier David Irving. Despite the fact that he's wrong, his lies are actively harmful, they encourage anti-Semitism, and he's a vile human being who I personally would be quite happy to see punched in the face, repeatedly. I was of the opinion at the time that these dangerous viewpoints, though, need to be voiced if they exist, so that historians and scientists can actively combat them with the truth, and so that all people, all society in general, can see what kind of ignorant bigotry is still out there. I still think that argument has merits, but I've definitely softened my stance in the past decade, especially as Nazism rears its ugly head here in the United States. And I've pretty much always been of the opinion that aside from governments, private individuals and organizations have every right to censor pretty much whatever speech they want to in their own forums. That includes Reddit, where overall bigoted and offensive, edgy speech tends to run rampant. 2 years ago, the company decided to try to put a dent in that by banning some of the most obviously disgusting subreddits, with the two most popular being r fatpeoplehate, FPH, and r coontown, which I'll refer to as CT. It's pretty obvious from the names who the targets were here. Fat people, usually women in the former, and black people in the latter. Of course, once these popular subreddits were banned, there were still plenty of smaller subreddits with similar viewpoints that continued to fly under the radar. So what happened when that ban was put into place? Did the people who were posting there leave, or did they just relocate to other subreddits and continue to use that same hate speech? Well, those are the questions that researchers at Georgia Institute of Technology recently asked, and they answered it with science, the best way to answer questions, in my opinion. One of the fun things about evaluating social media is there's so much juicy data to sort through. All you need is a really good question or two and a good algorithm to sort through all that data. And in this case, the researchers built their algorithm by identifying keywords used in all of the posts made in FPH and CT in 2015. They found those keywords by comparing posts made in the hate subreddits to posts made in the rest of Reddit at the same time. And then they highlighted all of the most frequently used unique words. Those included slurs and also words tangentially related to bigoted arguments like IQ and Hispanics for CT. The list of words was then manually pared down to just the most bigoted slurs. The researchers could then evaluate Reddit for instances of those words. It's not perfect, since you can be racist without ever uttering a slur, and of course you can use slurs in an academic sense to discuss the slur itself. But when you have such a large data set, this works for recognizing larger patterns. Here are the patterns that the researchers saw. Over 40% of FPH and CT users deleted or abandoned their accounts after their subreddits were banned, compared to 20 to 30% of Reddit users in a matching control group. Among those who continued posting to other subreddits, their hate speech decreased by 80 to 90%. About 1,500 subreddits received the migrants from the banned subreddits. However, the hate speech in those subreddits was mostly unaffected, meaning that the migrants didn't come in spewing the same bigotry they were talking in their hate subs. The researchers conclude that this ban worked for Reddit in that Reddit decreased the overall amount of hate speech without spreading the infection that was FPH and CT. But the researchers also point out that the ban most likely made these users someone else's problem. Many of them went to other websites where they could congregate and share the same bigoted ideas that they were batting around on Reddit, meaning that the ban didn't work to make the internet in general a safer or better place. That said, it is worth remembering all of the other research we have on the danger of echo chambers in the radicalization of people with violent and bigoted ideas like ISIS and white nationalists. Taking away one prominent echo chamber where participants have ample opportunity not only to reinforce their own viewpoints, but also to lure in new gullible minds from the rest of Reddit, banning that might make a real difference after all.